so that when our entire office gets buyers, you can be that person that may be able to line up the perfect timing without ever having the hassle of going to the market. Do you think that would be of value to you?
Well, that's interesting, and I think it's a great idea. Now, let me ask you this, Josh. You mentioned about being proactive. Tell me, what would you do differently for us?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I love that we're getting there. Most of the time, when we start out in our conversations, sellers want to share a few details, and then they make this transition where they recognize, based on my current actions, the current conversation, that there is some value there, and that's exactly why I wanted to stop by at the house here in the next week, just to walk the property real quick, take a look at it, and then we'll go into detail of exactly how being on that special list that we have in our office is going to benefit you. Do you guys typically, you said, you're downsizing. Are you guys still working, 9 to 5? What's your work schedule like?
Actually very flexible on that, and I'm sure you can tell me a couple of things that you do differently from other agents. So what would you be able to share with me right now? And we can talk some more once we actually set up a meeting at some point in time. But what do you actually do differently that you can tell me about?
Great question. I'm glad you asked. First and foremost, anytime I meet with anybody, I do a massive amount of homework prior to giving out information. So that way, when I give you something and I tell you something, for a fact you can take it to the bank. We have a sales process that ensures that we get every single property we take sold. Now, we don't get every single property. Sometimes we work with sellers that are unrealistic. Sometimes we work with sellers that want to buy in the dream of some desperate agent overpricing a property. Oftentimes, that we do miss out on properties, we end up becoming the second agent. So it all starts with homework. You mentioned meeting when we're in person. What's the best opportunity for you, since you're flexible, this week where I can stop by for 10 minutes to discuss the questions you've just asked?
Well, probably a little early in the process here. Like I said, I mean, when you called me, the very first thing I said is we have decided not to sell. I appreciate where you're coming from, and I do think it's a good idea to meet at some point in time, but maybe not this week. What about we're just about getting to hit February. We're gonna go on a winter vacation in February, so maybe afterward.
Fantastic. So what I'll do is I'm going to make a note in your file that we're going to hold off on putting you into our special category in our list of sellers that are ready to start talking to buyers now, and I will focus on putting you on that list come March. So you guys go on vacation. That's incredible. Where are you guys headed to?
We have a cabin in Mammoth.
Oh, I just got jealous. That's incredible. I heard they're getting dumped on with snow. When do you guys get up there?
Oh, dude, we can't wait to go. There's just been so much snow, yeah, this year. It's incredible. We're going as early February as possible. My wife's got to figure out a few things, but I'm ready to go as of today.
I can hear in your voice, man. You're looking for a break. You've been hammered by agents. You've been through a tough winter. I can tell in the tone, man. You're ready to hit the slopes. You ski or snowboard?
Both.
Oh, that's what I like. You go both ways, huh? I'm all snowboard. Well, listen, I'm gonna put a note in my file. It sounds like you guys are heading out maybe first weekish of February. And how long are you gonna go for?
Well, we're definitely staying for a good 10 days, depending on how things go and what's going on with my wife. I'm not too sure, but we might extend the stay. We have that cabin, so we
All right.
don't have we can move the dates, getting there, leaving is just really up to us.
All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a note on the file because I've been taking detailed notes. This conversation that we've had has not been in vain. Everything that we've discussed, you won't ever have to discuss again with me or my team. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a note that you guys are going up to Mammoth. You're going to have an incredible time. On February 21st, I'm going to reach out to you, checking in to see if you're back from Mammoth. If you're in Mammoth, just send me a text that says, hey man, I'm snuggled up next to a fire with my wifey. I'll be back in a couple days, and we'll just adjust from then on out. And then once you get back, once all the snow settles and once you've recharged and you organize everything, gone to the grocery store, got all back and settled in, I'm going to reach out to you where we'll set up an in-person visit so I can put you on this list of future buyers coming into the market. Maybe we hit the needle in the haystack, the grand slam, everything lines up. You'll have a perfect plan. So if the perfect property comes up, you'll have all the details dialed in. And if not, this will just be a conversation of exactly what we do different than everyone else. So when I walk away, you'll know why we built our business around specializing in these types of sales. This is our wheelhouse, kind of like how Apple's known for their phones. We're known for helping sellers after they've already gone to the market and failed. Do you have any questions for me before I go, other than the things we're going to cover at the meeting when I get back, when I see you after the Mammoth trip?
Nope.
Awesome, man. Oh, hey, by the way, your wife's name, I didn't catch that. What's that?
Angelina.
Angelina and Surreal. All right, man. Well, listen, my name is Josh Pono. I'm going to text you as soon as I hang up because I know you've gotten a ton of phone calls. I have a seller hotline. Okay. I specifically built this seller hotline so that anytime a seller like yourself, who was previously on the market, has a question, has a comment, I get alerted 3 times. That's how important communication is and me being on the spot. When we talk about proactivity, I make sure that every time you engage with me, I have 3 ways to be proactive to make sure you know that I'm all in. I'm going to send you an email or 2 that's going to be relevant about the process and where you're at based on the conversation we have. And I'm also going to send you a little note card in the mail. It's going to be perfect for your trip to Mammoth. I've got a little something special in there for you, just as a token of my appreciation for giving me the opportunity to see your house. That should be there before you go to Mammoth. I'm going to check in with you just to make sure you got it because it's valuable and I want to make sure you got it. And that'll all happen automatically as soon as I get off the line. I'm going to work on that right now. Did you have any questions for me?
No, we're good, Josh.
Last but not least, I got surrealsparks@gmail.com. Is that the best email address for you?
Yes.
Fantastic. I'm going to have it over here in a minute. Check within the next 15 minutes to make sure you received it. And if you don't, just text my seller hotline. It's like the bat phone. Just text me and I'll resend it over to make sure you got it. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, man. Have a fantastic day. Catch some slopes for me. Catch some fire time and enjoy your cabin in Mammoth. It sounds like an incredible trip. Be well. Happy New Year.
Bye now.
Bye now.
I gotta go grab my my power cord. My laptop is about to die.
I just broke his computer. All right, so I just kept going with that. I was going to do cold calls, but I wanted to. What do you notice about what he was doing? You guys have dealt with that guy before.
Yeah, he's on the border.
Nothing seems to be hitting home.
Yeah, not 100% sure.
Standoffish.
Still talking to you, but you're not really necessarily getting to like the full complete buy-in that you kind of want.
And towards the end, like, did you notice how there's a sense of like, I was looking for something, he wasn't giving it to me. Then he would bring up another comment and I'd spend a little time there. And then he'd bring up another comment and spend a little time there. And I would just kept going with the flow of the conversation. But then I would come back to other things and leverage it. Like I'd come back and go at the very end, well, this is how proactive I am, right? And this is how this, and you just keep getting it to where the end, it kind of all came together. And you notice how also I gave him a reason on why what he was asking was the best way to get it in person.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a challenging prospect.
What
are your thoughts?
I want to hear how you go about things. So I definitely planted different avenues for you to give us something. So we can work with that, and I think there were different elements from different homeowners that I've heard. There was nothing really I think that was outrageous or out of this planet. Just different elements from different homeowners that I've encountered, and was curious of how you actually tune in to really work with that and get somewhere.
Do you feel like if by the way, if towards the end he kept harping on it, right, and he wouldn't get off of it, or he wouldn't, then if you're on a phone with a prospect for 10 or 15 minutes, and I was working to find the angles, working to find where he was going to lighten up, working to find where he's like, oh yeah, that does sound value. If you notice, every single time I offered him something of value, he was like, that possibly, right? Like he purposely was never buying into something. And if I spend 10 or 15 minutes or 20 minutes on a phone call with somebody and I offer them real value in 7, 8 other different ways, then I'm going to get to the point at the end where I go, well, hey, listen, I can tell that right now it's just not the right time for you. You have no motivation to really even talk to a salesperson, to a real estate agent. I really appreciate all the time you spent to me, but I can tell you're just not interested in this right now. Now, based on our conversation, would you be interested in having a follow-up conversation with me when the time is more appropriate?
That's good.
Based on the conversation that we've had, do you think, not what I think, not what I say, do you think that I have a more systematic or a more value delivering approach than most of the people you've spoken to? If you don't think by the way, if anything that I've said doesn't sound truly interesting to you or like a solution, just tell me now, because I'm totally fine with, like, I don't want to call you if you actually don't think there's any value for me to call you. Okay, great. So you did find value in this conversation. We're just talking about this really, truly way too early, and you're not motivated to do anything at any time, and you're kind of just waiting for a lightning bolt to strike you to get motivated. Is that right? Yeah, I'm just waiting for something to happen in my life. Awesome. When that something happens in your life, I'm going to give you all my information. I'm going to send you something in the mail. I'm going to stay in contact with you, since you just said I'm valuable, and you just said you'd be open to a secondary conversation. I'm going to show you that when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to lead by example. When that lightning bolt strikes you and you're like, oh shoot, I do want to talk about listing my home, will you call me?
Now, if you were to put a ratio on that, how often do actually people that you present that to give you a call back?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Not a lot, because if it's not the right time, it doesn't sink in.
Yeah.
Even, right? Like because, like, for example, there were times where you would tell me something that you want, or you would agree with a follow-up question I would have, and then I would ask you 6 seconds later, is that something you'd be of value? And you're like, so like, okay, now it's not even about you not finding value in me. Now you're not even being honest in this conversation, because you're telling me that you would be interested in something, and I say, great, how about we talk more about that? And you're like, So at some point, I get down to the end of just calling the spade of like, hey, look, it's the wrong time. You can have the best girl in front of you, but if you're not in the right headspace, if you're not in the right moment, it don't matter. And then that girl might come up to you and be like, why didn't you call me when you were ready for love? And you're like, the thing that made me ready for love was I talked to a hot chick. They really blew my mind. And so I didn't think about you then, right? And so I'm at the wrong time. I can ask them to call me back. I can ask them to think about me. I can plant that seed. I can send them the nurturing email. I can send them the gift card. I can send them all those things to try to enforce that, even if they do meet a new hot chick or a hot guy or whatever it may be, to think of me in that moment and give me a chance to compete. It's all about timing. Sales is all about timing. That's why consistency is so important. Because you can't ever figure out timing 100% of the time. Otherwise, you'd only have to work 10 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you ever had that day where you make 2 phone calls and you get 2 appointments and you're like, shoot, I wish I could just do 2 appointments and 2 calls every day. That'd be great. Well, yeah, that would be great, but you can't, because you got lucky. It's timing. Timing. So on a prospect like that, I'm also not going to hang up and be like, oh my God, I couldn't convert that guy, or, oh, what a waste of time. Nope. I worked my system to the end. I got to the end. You did. I found out. I built some rapport with you. I set up landmines. What I mean by landmines is I already set it up. So, hey, if I call you and you're not in town and you're not ready, then you send me a text, throw in a little comedy. Hey, buddy, I'm snuggling with my wife next to a fire in Mammoth. I could care less about you. And I'll totally get it. So when you get that text or you get that call and you're not in the space, just blow me off with a text and I'm going to be cool. You give them permission to blow you off. And then you say, and then I'll just follow up with you then. And then I'll come back and I'll talk to you about exactly what you want. And if it's not the right timing, then we'll talk in April. I'll keep you in the loop each step of the way. And if anything happens, great. And I'm also not, you notice how I didn't, when he said he wasn't going to meet with me right now, I said, great. What I hear you saying is you don't want me to put you on my list that says you're open to talking to buyers right now because you're not ready. And the way I liken that is, great, I'm not going to set you up with new listing alerts right now. You're not ready to talk about homes. You're not ready to talk about properties. Why would I set you up on listing alerts? Why would I give away the milk for free? All right, Nathan, I'm gonna be the agent. You're gonna role play. I'm not gonna be as challenging as Surreal, but I am gonna throw you some curveballs to make you work for some value.
You're gonna be the buyer. I mean, you're gonna be the seller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ring, ring, ring.
Let me ring you. Ring, ring.
Oh yeah, that's right. You ring me.
Yeah, man.
You ring on me, man.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Josh. Nathan Barkley, First Class Real Estate. Good morning.
Who's this?
Nathan Barkley, First Class Real Estate. I was calling about your property on Main Street.
Okay.
I know you've probably gotten a lot of calls from agents. You might even have some agents hiding in your bushes, man. I see that the property, excuse me, might have some agents hiding in your bushes. I'm looking for new homes coming to the market for our buyers. I've noticed the home was on market and they came off a little while ago. What's the story with the sale, with the move that never happened?
We decided not to sell it, and we are just waiting to see around what's going on with the market, but we don't have to sell. We're not desperate. Thank you for calling, though.
Oh, no problem, man. So you guys decided to take the property off the market. What was the reasoning behind that?
It didn't sell for what we wanted.
And who came up with the price on the property, if you don't mind me asking?
We did.
Oh, you did? By you, do you mean you and your family, you and the agent? Did the agent kind of give you any type of direction? Or
where's this call going?
I just want to talk with you about the property. My team, we specialize in homes that came off the market unsold. So similar to, like, you know, a doctor, we try to find out why the property didn't sell. So I just wanted to ask you.
See where we're at?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I know you've received a ton of calls from agents. Slight pause. I'm looking for homes that are coming to the market for our buyers that are gearing up with these lower interest rates. I noticed the home was on the market and came off. When I said, what's this call regarding? You're like, well, I just want to talk to you. The emphasis is on you. And so with that, you're going to get shut down there. Let's try it again. All
right, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Josh, Nathan Barkley, First Class Real Estate. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, I know you received a lot of phone calls from agents. I'm looking for a new homes that are coming to the market for our buyers. I've noticed I've noticed your home was on the market and it came off a little while ago. What's the story with the sale of the move that never happened?
All right, so a little bit more of an inquisitive thing, right? So the tone is more like, "Hey, I know you received numerous calls from the agents.
Yeah,
I'm looking for homes that are coming to the market in the future for our buyers. Demand starting to jump. We got interest rates. By the way, I didn't put that demand starting to jump because you wanted to be flexible with, you don't want to write the script that's only valuable that in the current condition. But as somebody working in this market, I can say, listen, I'm looking for some new homes that are coming to the market. Inventory has been super tight. Buyers' demand is starting to jump with interest rates. I noticed that your home was on the market previously and it came off the market a little while ago. What's the story with the sale or the move that never happened?
Okay.
Right? Like you're leaning into that call, you're being inquisitive versus you're doing a statement of information like, hey, I'm calling about homes that were coming off the market for our buyers. I noticed that your home was on the market and then came off a little. It's like, what's going on with the story, man? And the move that never happened.
Yeah. All right. Let's get it.
Right? Like you're in research mode. Like you're not just running through a list of numbers. You're like you want him to believe that you pulled up his property specifically. You're only calling him or her. You are like, man, I was doing this research, right? And I noticed that your home was on the market and then it came off a little while ago. Like, what's the story with the sale and the move that never happened? Like, you're trying to call him directly or her directly and find out the information.
Okay. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Josh, Nathan Barkley, First Class Real Estate. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, I know you've probably gotten numerous phone calls from agents. I'm looking for new inventory on the market for my buyers. You know, with the decreasing in interest rates right now, we're actually starting to see the prices coming back. I noticed your home was on the market for a little bit and came off. What's the story of the move that never happened?
You know, we had it on the market for a little while. We were looking to buy another property and it just didn't work out. We didn't get our price, so we decided to hold off for a while.
So you had the property on the market. You decided you weren't going to get. Well, you guys didn't get your price. Did you get any offers on the home?
We did.
Okay, so you guys got some offers, but the offers ended up coming in just kind of way lower than expected, or was it, was it nearby?
Well, you know, we took a shot, and the interest rates were tough, and you know, there were some offers, but it was a combination of things with the homes not a lot of inventory, and then also, yeah, the offers just seemed low. Like, we just didn't have the right buyers coming in.
And I hear you when you said you took a shot. By what do you mean by taking a shot? Did you kind of know the property was a little overpriced when you guys originally put it on, or?
Yeah, you know, the agent had said he thought we could get that. I mean, it sounded really good. He was the expert, and we figured we'd take a shot at it, but we kind of felt like it was a little high.
Okay, so you kind of felt it was a little high, and then the agent on the other side, because I know your guys' whole goal, was to ultimately get the property sold, correct?
Yeah, we wanted
Okay,
to
so
we wanted to get a different home.
And so the agent on the other side let you guys, kind of run with your plan and, kind of overprice the home and it wasn't able to sell. Did they get you any type of data on, kind of a plan or a pricing strategy in case the property didn't sell, or what happened after a couple, after the time?
That's a good question. I don't really remember. I mean, like they mentioned, like, that there was a couple of homes that sold, and he was talking about his marketing, and he felt confident that we were priced to where we were going to get really close to that number.
And I see you guys were on the market over in like September, October time. Did the agent have a talk with you about the increasing interest rates at that time?
Well, we knew that the rates were going up. We knew that it was a scenario where it was becoming more challenging to sell the home, and we talked to him here and there, but there wasn't really much to update us on.
Okay. So what I'm kind of hearing you saying is, you guys had an agent. You guys had originally had plans of getting the property sold. The market shifted a little bit. You guys weren't getting as many, showings and everything. And then ultimately, after this upcoming year or this year that just came, you guys decided to pull the property off the market and rehash it out at a later time. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. And so, going back into that timing wise, what were you guys originally thinking of going after you guys sold the property? Where were you guys going to go next?
We are looking for a bigger home. We've got a family that's growing, and
Okay.
we want to my kids share a room, and so we want a little more space as they get older.
You guys just want a
We're
little
gonna
bit
stay
more
locally
space.
here.
And you got the kids and and everything. So from kind of what I'm hearing, it sounds to me that you guys had a plan. The plan didn't go originally according to what you guys were thinking. You guys kind of put the property on hold till a later date or until things kind of come back in the market and you're able to actually get the property sold confidently. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah.
Okay, so going forward, what we've been noticing right now in this market is actually some good news for you. Is when you guys were originally on the market, yeah, it was a tough time just because rates were high. Actually, rates went to a value that we haven't seen since kind of the mid 80s even. Actually, if you go back in the 80s, people always say about like the 15-12% interest rate. So we weren't necessarily there, but we started to feel the pullback of rates. As rates go up, buyers can afford less. As buyers can afford less, sellers get less money, inventory starts stacking, and it causes a downward pressure on prices. What we've noticed now in today's market, because they've decreased rates, and rates are actually kind of at the new normal. What we saw in 2020 was actually abnormally low rates. So rates right now are kind of at the new normal. And what we've noticed for buyers looking in this market is they're kind of playing at this new rate. They're noticing where rates are at, and they're noticing they're not going to go anywhere. So we've seen a lot of life in the market. I was actually speaking with a lender partner of ours, our team, and he was stating that we've actually had a more lively January than we've seen in a long time. So
how is that good for me?
Yeah, so exactly. So that's the reason why I was making the point. I was just saying that as rates come down, prices are going to come back up. As prices and demand comes back up, there's actually hope for you to get the property sold for your price or very close to it. And we can discuss about what exactly you're looking for in the next agent. I wanted to see, how did you end up selecting your agent?
Ended up selecting my agent because he was a referral of a friend. He had helped them out, and he had done a good job then in like 2021. So we figured we'd give him a go.
Okay, so it was from a friend, did a good job for them in the past. But you know, does he work mostly with sellers, or is he kind of he helped them buy?
I don't really know.
I don't really know. Okay.